guessing in a lot of places, it's a Sunday night or a Sunday afternoon. If you're here in Australia, you're probably thinking, why is this guy starting so early? I have a lot of people overseas that I want to be able to watch this video, obviously. So yeah, here we go. Also, if you are a member of Patreon, hop across real quick and grab yourself the tab, or maybe just wait till later because you're going to miss stuff. Vital things. What I've actually done is, following on from the theory lessons that I've been uploading regularly, I wanted to jump ahead a little bit and take a major scale, compose a solo, which is quite difficult in a way. I mean, one of the reasons I like to learn all these things is so I can improvise freely and all that. So what I did was I actually composed a solo. I've had to learn it, which is quite difficult actually, because you've got to get it in your head. Now, I've also got a rhythm part for it as well. And yeah, it's just in the key of C, mostly. There's a few things that step outside that, but I'm going to use what you've been learning, or what we've been learning, to understand what we're doing and why it sounds the way it sounds and what sounds good and all that sort of thing. So here we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to record a loop. Hopefully I get this right. And then I'm going to play over it and I'm going to try and nail that solo. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. I'm not sure what language I'm speaking today. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was it. That went really, really quickly. I think everything went okay. I'll find out when I watch it back later. But either way, I'm going to walk you through what I've done here, okay? And then this will go up, obviously, you'll probably be watching this as a pre-recorded thing anyway. Anyone who's live, hope you're enjoying it so far. So what I've actually done, let's start with talking about this position here. Just the good old major scale. And this is where this finally starts to get really cool. I know what we've been doing so far, it's quite dry. You're working through notes and you're playing patterns and you know, we're talking about C, D, E, F, G, and it's like, when does this turn into solos? So that's what we're really doing here. So I've begun in that position of C. If you've learnt C major all over the board, you might recall when we started from C on our 6th string. It's a great place to start when you're improvising because you get that visual and you get that sound from C as your bottom note. Okay? You can really hear that nice and clearly. I didn't see who that was, but thank you. So from here, what I've done, I'm going to walk you through the solo very, very slowly. I started on the 8th fret. Okay, then I slide from the 6 to the 7. Then I get my pinky on the 10th fret and I roll it across. Okay. 1, 2. Now I'm on the B here on the 9th fret. So I go to the 9th fret on the 4th string, 7th fret on the 3rd string, pinky goes to the 10th fret on the 3rd string, roll the pinky down to the 2nd string, then on the 8 here, 7 on the 1st string, okay, then the 10th fret on the 2nd string, and then the 9th fret on the 3rd string, okay. Now that looks probably quite fancy. Good evening. Hey, Panu, how are you, man? Just been doing some good work. So you can see very clearly everything I'm playing fits into that box, which is crazy. To me, I mean, I remember being in that position years and years ago and hearing, honestly, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. One of my biggest influences is Wes Montgomery. I mean, that's not a secret, but you know, even playing rockabilly and that stuff, I like to draw from those jazz influences. But I remember hearing his playing and going, man, I don't know how that guy is stringing together these tones and these sounds, and it just blew my mind. A little bit like probably for a lot of you guys, if you've, you know, when you first listen to the Stray Cats and you hear Stray Cats strut, and it's like, what is that? That just doesn't sound like scales. You know, I remember asking an old guitar teacher of mine that I bumped into. Where's the man? Sam! Hey man, how's it going? So, Sam's a very good guitar player, guys. Sam O'Halloran, check him out. So yeah, I remember hearing and just thinking, how does that guy get all those sounds? And in the end, I bought a book, and you know, using theory, like exactly what I've been teaching you guys, just broke down what tones he uses over certain chords. So coming back to that shape, the lick that I play at the start there, 1, 2. It's really a very specific path through that shape, but it is just that shape, and that's what's really cool about it. Aside from one thing, you'll notice I did a little slide from the E flat into the E natural. 1, 2. Now, this is not part of the major scale, but the beauty is if you've been working on these things, or you understand your tones and you go, well, this is the 1, this is the 2, and this is the 3, then you can very quickly identify that it's the flat 3 sliding into the natural third, okay, or the flat 3 into the regular 3 that's giving you a sound that you like. And this is the most important part, in my opinion, about theory. Hey, no worries, man. Jimmy Jams says, thanks, Adrian. It's really cool. I'm not sure the best way to go about capturing these comments as I go, but I'm going to just, fill it out as I go. So that's the first part of the solo. I'll play through that one more time, nice and slow. 1, 2. Okay, that whole last passage, not a single note outside of the major scale. Really quickly, hope you're not getting bored of this, but I'll go really quickly through the tones I'm playing. So it's the 1, flat third into the natural third, 5 into the 1, the 7, okay, the 9 technically, or the 2 again, the 4, that's the 6, so it's an A, and then the root note, the 7, the 6th note, the A, and then the 3rd, okay, this is of C. Now the other thing I should mention is that the chords there, so that's a C power chord, and we have a B and a G here, right? This is really reflecting a G chord. Now I'm going to get into this at a later stage as we build the theory lessons. So yeah, I mean, I know for a lot of guys the theory lessons it's probably quite basic, but it's building and building and building, and I feel like it just has to be done properly. I don't want to skip ahead too much. But as we get into building chords, you'll understand this is actually reflecting a G chord. We could call it like a G/B or something like that, because the B is the lower note, but we have you could almost play very, very similar, or you might, if we did it in open chords. Okay, it's just a C, a G, and an A minor. Now, at the point where that G/B is coming in, that's right on cue when I'm playing this solo where I hit the B natural. So this is, again, where your theory can come in really handy, is when you start looking at your chords and you start capturing notes that it's moving through. And then obviously as you get into more complicated genres and stuff, you get more of a command of that, and you can work off various things within the chords. But anyway, that's probably getting a little bit ahead. So when I go, I'm hitting that at that point. And I can hear, like, when I wrote that, I could hear that passage, which is ultimately the goal, okay? All right, now, then I landed on that, on the A5, on the A minor chord, okay? That E natural, the 5th of A, all right? So again, it gets confusing because you say, well, didn't you just say before that's the 3rd of C? For now, just focus on what's relevant to the key you're in. If you're playing a tune that's in C, try and get a feel for what you're playing against that at various times. If you were to say, I'm playing over A minor, and I really like the sound of this note, want to do that, it might be easier to begin with just to say, well, I like using the third over that particular chord. Then you don't have to know all your keys and everything that's going on. That's a really good little tip for you. Just try to make that association based on your what we call parent key. Okay. Now, moving along, next part of the solo. So we had the boom, ba ba boom. Now, yeah, that's it here. Now, I could play that same thing here. Okay, because I know the tones. I'm starting on the 4th, I'm going to the 6th, I'm going to the 8th, going to the 10, the 4th, 3rd, 9, root note. You don't have to know that on the fly, but I just want you to see, again, just from that same major shape. So this, I wouldn't really get into talking about how I matched it with chords. It's just what I heard in my head, and I followed that when I was writing it down. But that right there, when you work through, if you've worked through learning the major scale all over the board, straight out of that spot there, okay? Dark Satori, hey man, how are ya? Thanks for joining in. Alright, so yeah, again, just coming up with things that you hear. Now keep in mind, I wrote this solo, I sat down and I thought about it, and you know, find the things that you like. A big question I get asked a lot is, how do you use the major scale to sound good? Well, obviously once you've learnt it, you get to choose things from that, okay? Or you can take things slightly left and right of it if you want, okay? Which you'll see shortly. The next part, we finish there, and then okay. Hey, you didn't miss it this time. Awesome, man. Well, if anyone has missed any of it, I'll upload this straight away once it's done. So, this next part here, now, this is a little hard to explain how I came up with that. I guess I heard it again in my head, and it just again draws from that same family of notes. But it's very much a lick-based idea from learning a lot of other solos. So that's obviously a really big thing. You know, you've got to transcribe, or you know, these days you can get tabs, or someone might be doing transcriptions of psychobilly tunes or rockabilly tunes. Maybe check out my Patreon. Okay, so it's just, I'll show you the lick a little slower. So we finished here. Pull off from the 12th fret to the A. Play the 10 there, okay? And I don't pick, I just pull off. Then I go to the 10th. Do I go for the 10th? Yes. Yep, and then, yeah, sorry, 12, pull off to 10, to 8. Oh God, it's too early. Like that, and then from the 10, same lick, but from the 10. And then I sort of awkwardly shift into this position, pull off, and then I play the 10, so I pull off to the 7, play the 10, what goes next there? Now I pick here, so I alternate the pick to get the speed there, then up on the 9, on the 3rd string, down on the 10th fret, and up on the 7th. That's a hard passage, I'm not going to lie, it's not an easy passage. So even I can't play it. Okay. You could probably pull that off. Pull off, up, down, up. Okay. But yeah, there's going to be some pain in learning that. You're definitely going to want the tab for that. Now, if you're not on the Patreon and you're a bit strapped, especially in these times, you know, it's all a little bit uncertain, I guess, shoot me an email and I'm happy to send you the tabs. No stress. I won't do it every time because I feel like that'd probably be a bit unfair on the patrons. But yeah, I think this time it's warranted, why not? So then the next part, so again, nothing from there is outside of the major scale, nothing at all. So then from there, I'm playing an E again, just a note from the major scale, or you could look at it from this position. Here's our C. So it's the E, or the third in the key of C, third note. So I'm bending from the 7th fret. Okay, so I'm bending from the 7th fret, getting the 5th fret on the 2nd string and pinching it. And I'm pinching both of those notes. You don't need a thumb pick for this solo at all. I could have just played it exactly the same with a regular pick, but yeah, I sort of switch between sometimes. So we pick it, I hold it and pick it twice, let that down. Okay, and then that's kind of a cool lick, but this is the point of interest theoretically right here. I'm playing the 6, the 5, the 6, right? Just like that. And you know, honestly, like that note there, it's not from the key of C necessarily. It's what we call an accidental. Like if this was written in sheet music, that would have a flat symbol next to it. Okay, it would be an A flat. I'd be thinking of it as an A flat. You could think of it as a G sharp, but I prefer to think of it as an A flat because we're kind of setting up these notes here. We're going to be descending. Yeah, and I could get into some jazz stuff, but I won't. So just like that. All right. Now, why I'm really like this is the sort of thing that excites me is obviously it's not in C, but let's identify what it is. Okay, so and why it sounds good. If we look at the key of C, and we're going to start from here now, C, D, E, F, G. It was like the next note would be A, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we look at it in a straight line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What we're doing here is we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're flattening the 6. And that to me is such a cool sound. I use it quite a lot. Really, really nice sound. So why it's so useful to know to sort of exercise some theory with this kind of thing is I'll say, well, I really like that sound. I want to use it in other keys too. I might be playing a whole different song, but if I've got that understanding of where it lies in the major scale of the parent key or the key of the song that I'm playing, then I can use it in any key at any time. Yeah, cool, man. Definitely going to learn some licks from this tomorrow. Good. So let's say I'm in the key of F and I've identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that flat 6 that I really like. Say I'm going. I might. So you can start putting it into play straight away. That's why I really like music theory. It's not all about just geeking out and knowing all the notes. It's about geeking out and knowing the cool notes that are also around that. So yeah, so that was the last part of the solo. So now what I've actually done here, by the way, I've got that sharp, that flat 6. I've got a C natural and I've got an F, and I've used that to create tension to resolve to what's essentially just a C major chord, okay? Just like that. Now, this is a really useful thing to realize too. You don't have to get too bogged down in what's right and what's wrong. You just have to find things that you like the sound of. And keep in mind that all of the notes in any scale or in any song, in any key, music works on tension and resolution. So if you find something that falls outside of the scale that you're in, but you like the sound of it, then it's completely fine. And there would be, someone would have at some point made a very strong theoretical justification for whatever it is that you're doing. So really you don't need one, ironically, okay? I like to say that theory doesn't limit your playing. Limited theory can limit your playing. okay? But if you understand from the outset that theory is all about labeling things, not about setting rules, then it will help you play however you like and find things that you like, but label them more or less, okay? So, hopefully you've got something out of this live lesson today. If you've watched it later as the upload, comment, let me know what you think. And of course, check out the Patreon. But like I said, you can shoot me an email and I'll look after you. You know, it's coronavirus times and let's. Oh damn! I swore I wouldn't say that. I've been trying not to say it like from day one because you turn the TV on and it's all you hear. But I did it. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just noodle around for a little bit now. So if you're hanging out, I'm gonna jam a little bit on that same progression. If it works when I hit play, let's see. Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna have a bit of a muck around and then I'll log off. But you're here, so. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you guys later.